People deluded, I'm back again. Fridays equals Q&A day. So yeah, all I can do is say thank you for your continuous support, your positive messaging, my comments, obviously the questions, because I don't know about no other YouTubers, but I'm not a saddo. I'm not going to pretend people asked me questions when they didn't. So without you lot, this thing couldn't be possible, people. So all I can do is say thank you, and thank you for tuning back in. But let's crack on now. Got some great questions. They're on my laptop as opposed to a paper. I had a eureka moment. I was like, why do I always print them? I'm wasting my own ink and stuff like that when I can just leave it on my laptop and read it off this. I don't know why it took me so long to realise that, people, but it is what it is, innit? And you always got to learn something sometimes. So let's crack on. I'm rambling. Joe asks, what Premier League players are you rating at the moment? Maddison, Hughes, etc. It's a great question. I just wish it was a bit more specific, because I don't think I can answer your question how you might want me to, in the sense that are you speaking about young players, players in general, or what? But I'm going to assume you're speaking about youngish sort of players, because you said Maddison, Hughes. So it'd be them two. Ryan Sessegnon form's not been that good, but I like watching how he's adapting to the Premier League. Morgan Gibbs-White of Wolves, I've got a video on him. He hasn't played too much in the league, but I like him. Pardon me. Yeah, young players off the top of my head, there's not really that many. But if you're speaking players in general, you guys know I'm a big fan of Raheem Sterling, will always be. Mahrez, Zaha, obviously anyone that kicks a ball for Arsenal. I mean, even though he plays for Chelsea, how can you hate Hazard? How can you hate Harry Kane? I've got a lot of time for Davinson Sanchez, Van Dijk, Joe Gomez, Trent Arnold, even though I don't think Trent Arnold's personally, for me, playing to the standard that I've seen him play at before. So John Stones, Foden whenever he gets a chance, Guendouzi of course, but he plays for Arsenal. So that would probably be it off the top of my head. In regards to the lower league teams, there's not really anybody I'm feeling like that, if that makes sense. I do think, what's his name that plays for West Ham? What's that? Yarmolenko. He's moving like a better signing than me and a lot of people thought he would have been, to be honest with you. I mean, when I watched him live for West Ham and I went to watch them for Wolves, I saw him in a different light. And on the back of saying Wolves, I'd say João Moutinho's quietly been going out about his business. Ruben Neves. I've got a lot of time for what's his face as well, Adama Traore. So that'd probably be it, my guy. Rax asks is it time for the Premier League / football fans to accept that Raheem Sterling is one of the best wingers in the world? Of course, man. I mean, he might not be there all the way, but he's definitely better than people thought he would be. He's scoring goals. He's playing with confidence. I mean, he plays for England, but the Magic Jamaica. So by that logic, he's the best player in the Premier League, up there with Wes Morgan. Yeah, man, I think he's a great player, man. And I like, on a serious note, I like the way that he constantly fights from adversity. People mock his running, mocked his lack of finishing, called him overrated. We all know people were saying that Jordan is better than him when he joined City from Liverpool. And people were saying your time at City is not going to last that long, especially when Pep Guardiola came in. And he's arguably one of Pep Guardiola's main players. So I got a lot of time for Raheem Sterling anyways. But when you fight back from the darkness and fight back from what people think they know about you and know about the team and stuff and prove people wrong, that I admire that sort of stuff. So that'd be it, my guy. You've also asked, are you a pro or FIFA man? Well, if it was on the PS2, of course, Pro Evo. Happy times playing Master League with Castillo and Miranda and all of them guys there. But nowadays, it's got to be FIFA. I can't lie, I'm terrible at FIFA, people. But that's the first time you hear me say it, and I won't say it again. But it is what it is. But if I had a PS4, I'd still smack all you lot up. And if you were smacking me up, I'll just leave the game and pretend it didn't happen. But carrying on, Joe's back again. My guy, he asks oh no, that's the same question. That's my bad, Joe. My bad. I copied and pasted the same thing again. My bad, bro. But Mo asks DG, did you see what Matias Vargas said? And what do you think about the possibility of him playing for Arsenal one day? Well, I've got a video coming up about him. Well, I should have released it. I've seen the comments. For those who don't know, he was asked would he join Juventus, PSG, and a lot of other reputable clubs, and he referred to Arsenal for a variety of reasons. He scored a pinger the other day. I think he's someone with a lot of potential and he's got a lot of talent. He's part of I don't want to say golden generation, but the next crop of good Argentinian players coming about him. What's the lad at Atletico? Martinez, he played at the World Cup, the Youth World Cup a couple years ago. Or was it last year? There's a couple players, Santiago Escobar, I can't say his name, the young kind of Mascherano like the midfielder at Stuttgart. So there's a lot of them. There is a possibility we could sign him. He's contracted until 2020, but it is what it is, and I'll extend my thoughts in the vid. Well, already have done it, but Patrick asks is, how many years will it take for Arsenal to catch up with Chelsea, City / any title contenders and mount a serious title challenge? How long's a piece of string, my bro? I can't answer that. All I can give you is my typical answer, which be it would typically take 3 years to build a side capable of going for serious honours, generally speaking. So I could only say that. That falls on Unai Emery. If he gets 3 years, I know he's got a 2-year contract, I believe. But the big problem with that being, it doesn't matter what Unai Emery does, it doesn't matter how good the players, he improves players and gets them playing. If the nucleus from the top, if the top people at the boardroom, etc., if they don't want to win significant trophies, and that's not reflected with not necessarily, well, yeah, investment in the transfer market, but in regards to mentality and all the other things, it counts for little. So until we see that, we can't be there. You said Chelsea and City. Roman Abramovich, he might have tightened the purse strings a bit, if you can say that, considering he spent 140 plus on Kepa and Morata alone. But he wants to win league titles historically. Manchester City, they want to be the British Barcelona, essentially, them high pinnacles. That's why they went for Pep. That's why they're going for these good players with scope to be even better. Arsenal, we can't necessarily say the same. The difference with them two teams, they will die to win. Arsenal would like to win. There's a difference. Like, we'd all love to be rich and have savings and financially free, but how many people are investing, are saving money, are cutting back on needless expenses and just dealing with their bills to get to that goal? It's a wish, essentially. Arsenal are wishing to win these trophies. And with the way we are and the way the club's talking about financial purse strings being tightened, I don't know what to tell you, my guy. Antonio asks, if you met Rowley, would you make him feel bad because of we've had the worst player recruitment? Wow, you did not make no sense of this, my guy. But because we've had the worst player recruitment and identification / policy within the last 10 years. I wouldn't necessarily be abusive or rude to anyone. I think that would show a lack of class. I would ask him probably ask him his reasons as why he feels that this has happened. Clearly, it's not just him to blame. So that's what I would ask him, my guy. You've also asked, what are Arsenal's values since Wenger, etc., kept referring to them? Winning through harmony, doing things with class and things like that, my guy. Winston asks, shout to you. Have you seen or heard much about the young Argentinian Matias Vargas, and how cheap do you reckon he'd be, mate? I'd go in with a 20-odd million pounds bid to start off negotiations. For my extended thoughts, my vid will drop on that, my guy, like I kind of referred to this question earlier. But shout out to you. Michael, big up Michael, man. I always see him in the comments moving hard and supporting and them things there. But he asks how do you feel about the bias with refs? I mean, the lower league clubs, get away with murder. For instance, the Watford game for Deeney should have got at least a yellow for the tackle on Ramsey. If Jacques or Torreira did that, they would have definitely got a red or a second yellow. But I feel we get the short end of the stick more often than not. It's true, I do think Arsenal have, when you look at Chambers, when you look at a couple of years ago, opening day or the first 2 weeks of the season, Ramsey scored at the Emirates or so, and the goal was ruled out for offside. You could say that, but by the same logic, Torreira could have been sent off in a couple of games this season. If in fact I'm exaggerating, there was a game I spoke about in my player ratings. He could have been sent off. Ultimately, we've had an offside goal, so it works both ways, my guy. And unless I've got any statistical data to back it up, I can't really make any statements. But love for the question. Harry Hunter asks, where would you put Iwobi in the starting 11? Well, at this moment in time, probably take Aaron Ramsey's space if Mesut Ozil can't just be slid there. If not, he's going to have to hold up the left wing. But I do believe Iwobi should be one of them currently who's starting and playing games. Pot Noodle asks, my guy, have you heard of a player named Igal Molana, and do you think Arsenal should look at him? I've never seen him in my life, but I'll do my research and get back to you on that. I've missed out a question. Alex asks, what's your opinion on Pepe from Lille? Do you think we should try and sign him in January or the summer? I've done a video about him. I think he's a player with a lot of scope to grow, so he is someone I'll definitely be looking at, my guy. Bello asks, what are your thoughts on Ismail Assar, as we've been linked with him? I've done many a vid on him. I think he's a good player. You've also asked me, if Barella wasn't a possibility, would you take either Ndombele or Aouar from Lyon? Well, I think Aouar is completely quite different. I'd say Barella and Ndombele would be more similar to each other than Aouar is completely different from the three names here. But yeah, Alphax is, with FIFA / UEFA about to set a limit on the number of players that can be sent out on loan, I don't really get it. With FIFA about to set a limit on the loan players of a club can send out on loan, with 40 players out on loan this season, they're writing it so small here. Just how many players will Chelsea sell / let go next season? I'm not too sure. I'm not a Chelsea fan, my guy, but you could imagine they'll find a way around that sort of thing. So we'll see. Cyrus has asked me, what do you think about Keys Rari of PSG? I'll get back to you on that one. Reese Wickham asks, love your content. Shout out to you, my guy. Keep it up. If Aaron Ramsey goes, I do believe he'll stay, by the way. What about Hakeem Ziyech from Ajax? I think he's a very good player. No disrespect to Ajax. I'm surprised the Premier League team or someone ain't come in for him yet. And someone's also asked, I believe it's Alf again. He's also asked, is the American starting to play... Wait, no, you've also asked... No, I'm missing out, but... Could the withdrawal of the contract, Aaron Ramsey, have anything to do with the fact that the KAC has announced that they now own 100% of Arsenal's holdings? Is this Josh Kroenke starting to pull the strings now that Gazidis has started to leave? Is this the Americans starting to play hardball after getting stuffed year after year with player contracts? The way you've put it, I agree, bro. Essentially that, man. I mean, the way you've put it, I can see the picture on my head and I haven't got any comments to add on to that. It's exactly that. It's a dictatorship right now. And it goes back to the question I answered from Patrick about wanting to win league titles. It comes from the top up. Liverpool's purse strings are being tightened. Obviously, Spurs are getting a new stadium. They need to be easy. But generally, the rest of the top six are making advancements. And we're behind in that in regards to transfer market, money available. I'm not saying we can spend 90 million on players, but we are shuffling over offering players 200 odd K a week and these things there. So, yeah, man. People, I don't think I've got any more questions. So on that note, people, please get in the comments, subscribe, do the rest, and thank you for the questions. But it can't go on unless I get more questions. So get in the comments with more questions. DG.